Iowa Live.
From the Carl Chevrolet Studios in West Des Moines, welcome to Iowa Live. I am Lou, and joining me right now from Vero Neuropathy is our friend Dr. Josiah Fitzsimmons to talk about who is most likely to get neuropathy. That's the topic of discussion here this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. I mean, most likely you're going to have the older population. That's going to be more common as age progresses. You know, just different things start to add up over the course of your life. But really the number one, most common cause that we see is diabetic neuropathy. And so that, can happen with sustained levels of high blood sugar for a long period of time.
Okay, and this is called peripheral neuropathy. Now, explain the type of pain people could be experiencing with that.
Yeah, absolutely. With peripheral neuropathy, you're going to have numbness and tingling, burning sensations in your hands, fingertips, legs, or feet. So peripherals, that's your extremities. So that's the difference with peripheral neuropathy versus central nervous system neuropathy, your brain and your spinal cord. That's multiple sclerosis.
Okay.
Versus peripheral neuropathy, out in your hands, fingertips, you might have issues with dexterity, maybe you feel numbness and tingling, maybe things feel a lot more sensitive, the bed sheets or socks. You might feel like your sock is rolled up in your shoe and you look down and your sock is perfectly normal. And so you have numbness, tingling, burning sensations in those extremities parts of your body.
Now you talk about extremities real quick here. Would it be a couple of fingers? Would it be all your fingers or all your toes or a couple of toes?
Great question. It could typically start off maybe as, one finger, a couple fingers, or a few toes, and then it just starts to come more and more. So it typically starts, from the extremity, and then it keeps progressing its way further and further up. So you really want to get on top of it sooner rather. That's the biggest thing with peripheral neuropathy that we talk to all of our patients about. It's a progressive degenerative condition. It's just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse unless you do something about it. So it's so imperative to get on top of it sooner rather than later.
You mentioned diabetes, but anything else beside that?
Absolutely. One of the biggest ones is traumas,
Trauma.
So we have, maybe you had a slip or fall, maybe you had a fall off an accident, you have a compression of your nerve. All right, one of the other biggest ones we talk a lot about with lots of farmers in the area is exposure to toxins, pesticides, Agent Orange, all different chemical exposures can really deteriorate that outer coating around the nerve. All right, then we're going to talk about things like statin drugs. You maybe been on cholesterol medication for a long time. That is a really big contributing factor as well. Also deficiencies in different vitamins. Vitamin B in particular, is a big one that can really have an effect on your nerve coating and over time. So high levels of inflammation is probably the other biggest one that you're going to look at. If you have sustained high levels of inflammation, that's going to deteriorate the outer coating. So what's going on with neuropathy? The easiest way I explain it is think about your cell phone charger. You got that nice rubber coating around the cable on the inside, and what's going on is that outer coating you should have around all your nerves within your body, and that's what's actually deteriorating with neuropathy. So the inside electrical parts of your body, your nerves, are exposed to the rest of your body, and so that's why you get the numbness, the tingling, the burning, the electrical shock-like sensations.
Okay, is this genetic by any chance?
Genetic could be a role, but it would be a very small percent of the population that could have genetic neuropathy.
All right.
Yeah.
I just want to check that out. Now, the biggest question is there anything you can do about it? And we're asking you because there are some people that said you have to live with it. That's not true.
Absolutely. That's what the biggest misconception that people have been told, honestly, for decades, is you just have to live with neuropathy. They've just been prescribed prescription medications such as gabapentin, Lyrica, Cymbalta. All these things just mask the condition of neuropathy. They don't do anything to correct the cause. And unfortunately, that's what people have been informed for 20, 30 plus years, is that you just got to try and manage it. But that's not the case anymore. With the latest advanced breakthroughs in medicine, with technology, we actually have advanced equipment that actually help regenerate that coating around the nerve, restore the blood flow to the area through a process called angiogenesis, and then we actually decrease the inflammation throughout the whole body. So your body can actually heal from the inside the way it's designed to. I mean, we've had people that haven't felt their feet or their hands in decades get their feeling back. So no matter how advanced or how long you've had neuropathy, how far you've maybe even given up hope on it, there still is an amazing chance. But like I said earlier, it's just going to get harder and harder to do anything about it. If you're over 80% nerve damage, that's the most severe stage. And so we want to try and catch it as soon as possible and get on the path to recovery.
Bottom line is something can be done about neuropathy, and Vero Neuropathy can treat this, and you have a special to let people know how you can help them.
Absolutely. So many people, unfortunately, like I said, are just concerned. They've been told there's nothing can do about it at all times. Frankly, they're skeptical because they've been told there's nothing they can do. So that's why we have this amazing special, $200 off to come in and get a full neuropathy examination evaluation. We actually do 8 different unique tests to calculate down to the exact percentage of sensory loss in your hands, in your feet, wherever you're suffering from neuropathy. We're going to calculate down to the exact percentage of sensory loss and then come with an individualized game plan to get you on the road to recovery, to actually start reversing those symptoms and start living your life.
All right, you've tried calling doctors before and you can't get in forever. How soon can we see somebody if we call you guys?
Absolutely. That's the greatest thing. We have 10 doctors under one roof. Typically, we can get people in within 24 to 48 hours.
That's awesome.
And like I said, with neuropathy, it's imperative to get on top of it sooner rather than later. Even if you aren't able to take action immediately, at least figure out what's going on. Give us a call. There's really no reason, to delay. Let's get on the appointment schedule. Let's see exactly what's going on. Let's get these initial tests done. Let's come up with a game plan. Let's meet with our doctors. We have 3 board-certified neuropathy specialists within our clinic.
Perfect. All right. Then 515-335-VERO. That is the number to call. 515-335-VERO. Take advantage of the $49 neuropathy special and change your life. Start living life again with courtesy of Vero Neuropathy.
Absolutely.
Dr. J, thank you, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. This is Iowa Live.